So what really inspired me to want to be a student leader is just others who instilled in me values of being there for people, showing up for others, representing things that are bigger than myself.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you so much for coming to episode 6 of the Online Student Experience podcast. My name is Dallas Flobington, and I'm the coordinator for the Online Student Experience. And for today's episode, we're going to be focusing on branching out as a student and what you can do to help you stand out and what helps you set you apart from other students and other future potential employees. But before we get into it, I'll go ahead and give my guest a chance to introduce himself.
Hi guys, my name is Matthew Molito. I'm a third-year marketing major from the Woodlands, Texas. Currently, I'm a part of the North Texas 40 Student Foundation, and I'm really excited to let students know what can they look forward to when getting involved on campus.
Of course. Thank you so much. So just tell us a bit about yourself. You already told us your major, and then also tell us a little about what NT40 is and what they do.
So one thing about myself, just a quick fun fact, I love to make money. I think a lot of people can relate with that.
Yes.
And as a marketing major, I kind of chose that major just because it's very variable. I can make it my own, or I can find something that other people have found success in and then find success in that as well. So money and marketing, definitely two things I love to talk about. And what is NT40? So NT40 is the North Texas 40 Student Foundation. It's comprised of the top 40 leaders on campus. All our members are currently involved in many other organizations. We have people who are in Greek organizations, in cultural organizations, in academic organizations, or even work on campus. I myself, the experience that brought me to apply to the North Texas 40 Student Foundation, I was an orientation leader for 2 summers. I was a part of the Student Government Association. I'm a part of Alpha Lambda Delta Honor Society and the First in Business program within the College of Business. So having all these forms of involvement, whether it's for my career or for my personal benefit, brought me to learn that leadership is something that can be found in different places. And the North Texas 40 Student Foundation definitely is a melting pot of different kinds of leaders, for sure.
I know NT40 is one of those things where if you're heavily on, more involved on campus, you're familiar with, but for students who may not be on campus as often, or especially for their audience being online students, they may not be as familiar with what exactly NT40 is. So can you kind of give a brief overview of what it is it that you guys do, maybe even what's the application process like?
Yeah, of course. So what NT40 does, we are, again, comprised of the top 40 leaders. So these are people who have the ambition and motivation to want to serve others. We have 5 pillars, and my 2 favorite are definitely a commitment to excellence and integrity. These are people who, when they look to get involved, they're doing it so that they can positively impact the community. NT40 has just this, I think a pulling factor is something where you want to find, you know who you are as a leader, but you're looking forward to expanding that. NT40 is an opportunity for already established leaders to expand their profile. The application process is relatively simple. We're looking for students who have at least 60 credit hours or at least junior standing, and have at least involvement in 2 organizations with leadership in 1. So me, when I applied, I know I'm kind of all that. I'm gonna get that out there already. But when I applied, I was in an executive position in at least 4 organizations, and I had 2 on-campus jobs. And so at the time, I was really a go-getter, and that was my sophomore year. And balancing school and all my involvement was definitely a lot to go through, and it was very I really enjoyed it. But I learned a lot of lessons through that, and NT40 really taught me that there is different things I can take away from different aspects of leadership, for sure.
I can't imagine being able to balance all of that plus work, plus school.
Yes.
That sounds like a lot, but you managed to do it so well.
Somewhat. And you know what? I came out of it with the perspective of, you know what, at UNT especially has so much to offer when it comes to student involvement. And even then, you don't have to be a leader in a given organization or an opportunity to really take things away from that. I know some of the things where it's just like my friends like, hey, do you want to come to this event with me? I just want someone to come with me. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, cool. And one of the events I was able to just be at was the Merchandising Inc. fashion show.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to just visit, see all the cool looks that all the fashion and merchandising students kind of curated and designed. Another opportunity I was able to experience is the BSU block party that just recently
Mm-hmm.
happened. A lot of my friends were either performing or tabling at that, and just like seeing all the different students just interact with each other. You don't have to be a leader. You just need to get involved and get yourself out there.
Yes, I definitely want to emphasize that is a lot of students who are looking into getting involved are worried about things like time commitment, or I'm like not sure if I
Right.
want to be like an exec or leader in that org. And I think, like you said, the biggest thing is just getting out there, kind of testing the water, seeing what you're comfortable with. Because again, like you were in a bunch of different orgs, you were also working, you were also worrying about school. And so, for some people, that's like impossible, but
Mhm.
it's all about, seeing what you're comfortable with, seeing what you're able to do,
Mhm.
because that's one of the good things about UNT. There's always stuff going on, so
Yes.
you can really find things that fit around your schedule.
Hmm. And even then, it's also, I think it's important to experiment as well
Mm-hmm.
because there's so much variety of like organizations and opportunities. Just try it out. That's
Yes.
truly what I did, and I'm not in all of those things anymore. I did my time. I'm all good, but I found what worked best for my schedule and worked best with what I want to do as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, so transitioning a bit into back into NT40 and what you do, can kind of explain what your role is and what you do within that role in
Mhm.
NT40.
So in NT40, I am the director of public relations. So right now, I kind of just manage our social media, really make sure our, I guess, external and internal information is kind of streamlined. So right now, I'm working on just kind of closing things off for the year
Mm-hmm.
strong. We have about 4 weeks left, which is kind of crazy to me.
I know.
Finals are coming up, but so NC40, I'm kind of just working on closing things off, making sure all our graduating seniors are appreciated and that students can see all the service that we did just recently, and highlighting any members and any of like accomplishments that they had in their other leadership outside of the 40.
Mm-hmm. It's really nice being able to, like, I mean, you were able to put all of the information that you learned from your previous leadership roles, and then
Yes.
you being in marketing, all of that is also, you're able to apply a lot of that into your current role,
Hmm.
which I always appreciate. And I always tell students, if you can find like a leadership role or job or like internship that directly relates to what you want to do, it's going to be so helpful post grad.
Yes. Hmm.
All right, so going into, you were talking a little bit about wrapping things up with NT40 and what you guys did for the year. What sort of programs or events do you guys put on in NT40?
So I will say that it kind of varies with each semester just because, UNT again has so many things. So
Mm-hmm.
I think a really important thing about the 40 is that we kind of adapt to what we're able to do and what UNT has to offer. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it could look like we're partnering with an organization for a professional development or we're partnering with a campus department for other professional development. One of my favorite 40 events that happened, this was 2 semesters ago in spring 2024, but we had a alumni relations event, and it was really amazing because I got to meet at least 20 different alumni that were also in the 40 during their time at UNT.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I was the youngest 40 member, was a sophomore. Was like, and that was like the flex I used to tell them, like, yeah, I've done this, and this, and what's advice you have for me so that I can make sure that all the things I'm actually doing are beneficial, like that they're not just like ticks off my resume. Where
Mm-hmm.
can I put these skills? Where can I apply them? And things like that. I got to meet lawyers, realtors. I even got to meet someone who worked in the marketing industry. He
Mm-hmm.
was able to tell me that, you know, you just need to pick a place and just go.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the advice he told me. And honestly, I think I might do that. Just pick somewhere, go, find something that works for me, and just see what it has to give me. Like I'm really
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like the mystery is kind of what's exciting me for marketing, and that's kind of the biggest advice I took away from that event. Other events we do value service. So around recruitment season or just sporadically during the months of the semester, we'll pick and host service events. The most recent one we did was blanket making for local detention shelters in the community. And then before that, we had also done animal dog toy making,
Mm-hmm.
just for some pet shelters in the area.
I love that. I'm also just a sucker for anything involving dogs, so I'm also biased. You kind of talked about like the different programmings, things of service that you guys do. How exactly, in your opinion, do you believe NT40 really impacts the campus or University of North Texas as a whole?
I think the biggest impact that NT40 has to offer is showing up.
Mm-hmm.
NT40 is already comprised of people that show up, but when you join the 40, you show up in a way where, okay, I already am recognized for the work that I've put in into my other orgs, but through the 40, I can be recognized as a leader who shows up for other leaders as well. When we talk about impact, I think of how I was able to show up for other areas I wasn't aware of
Mm-hmm.
when I joined UNT or within my own involvement. I think that became more important when I was able and lucky enough to represent the 40 in this past homecoming court in
Yay.
2025. And just seeing like there were 540 members on homecoming court. So I think
Dang.
that in itself was like, wow, like the
Mm-hmm.
40 is showing up because they have seen that they have enough service, enough ambition, enough intention to represent the university in that capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And having that representation is very important because we show up for our community and
Mm-hmm.
for other leaders as proof that there are people still out there that want to inspire others, empower others to
Mm-hmm.
really go for the things that they want to go to. So I think our biggest impact is showing up for each other and other our UNC community as well.
I think that alone just really says volumes. Like just talking about, you guys, I mean, majority of you guys were taking up the homecoming court. When it comes to homecoming, especially at UNTs, like there is actual value that goes into it. I mean, if correct me if I'm wrong, but I also remember that homecoming court, they also, if chosen, they also have like money or funds that go into like an
Mm-hmm.
initiative that
A
they're
given
wanting to put
service
on.
project, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So for homecoming core, you come in and you have to have a campus impact project prepared. So
Mm-hmm.
that's with a logistical outline as best as possible, and then with a service in mind. So mine was focusing on legacy. I think that's another important thing when it comes to the 40 is what kind of positive legacy do we want to impact on our community? And so for mine, it was like a rock legacy garden, something physical. It was more of a beautification project with a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of ceremony in it. You know, students would come in, paint rocks, maybe leave like a quote or something that they want to leave for themselves or for other people to see, bring that impact to like past the sands of time. That
Mm-hmm.
was mine, but I know that the service project that won came from a previous 40 member as well, and it was benefiting I think it was a Diamond Eagle Resource Center
Mm-hmm.
and battling food insecurity, and that was a really good service project. I felt that was very deserved to be
Mm-hmm.
highlighted. And other service projects that 40 members brought as well focused on small things like making sure that students are staying cool during tabling or
Mm-hmm.
events. Another service project was just benefiting a specific charity that one of our 40 members had chosen.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I'd love to hear, mostly because, I know with a lot of our audience are online students or students who may not be necessarily near campus. And so some of the concerns or things they're interested in is being more involved, becoming a leader, getting or doing volunteering. And so I always say that if you're not local to campus or not able to like directly do that, there's plenty of volunteer opportunities within people's own communities.
Yes,
I
there
mean,
is.
we have students from Hawaii, we have students from New York, but I always tell them like, just because you're not able to physically be here in person, you
Hmm.
can still find a way to impact their own community
For
where they
sure.
are. So, kind of going back into the leadership, what kind of made you initially interested in becoming a student leader?
Hmm. I think I I will say that I've always been ambitious, but it's through that ambition that I kind of learned what kind of leader I want to be. I will say that I was very inspired by other leaders I saw when I came to UNT. One of my first leaders was my orientation leader herself, and she just really showed me that this is an opportunity that I have to just connect with people. It's not even just about leading, it's just building that pure connection with just anyone. That is definitely something that inspired me to be a leader. And then just getting involved just in things that I was passionate in, like student government, making positive change for the campus. Those kinds of things taught me that leadership is activism, leadership is representing other people. So, what really inspired me to want to be a student leader is just others who instilled in me values of being there for people, showing up for others, representing things that are bigger than myself, and being able to take action. I know a lot of people, especially for online students, like, how do I take action when I'm online or I'm working on something that isn't traditional because I'm not physically here at UNT? You can take action anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't even have to be a leader to take action. It's always just, again, showing up. That's the first step to just becoming something, even if it's not just a leader, just becoming something.
I think definitely leaning into what you said is just showing up. I think one of the good things about UNT is that if you see something happening on campus and you want to bring awareness or be able to help, students, a certain population, they have the opportunity to do that, whether it's through creating their own student organization, being involved in things like SGA, where you're trying to make that impact. I always tell students, especially online students, is if there's something you want to see on campus but you're not seeing, look into it. See how you can personally make the impact. Try to figure out who I need to talk to. Do I need to talk to someone in the Student Government Association? Do I need to make my own organization? Because at the end of the day, it's really in the students' hands to tell us, whether it's like the faculty, staff, or just UNT as a whole, and what students want and what they feel like is missing. So that's why I always say, honestly, just tell us what you want and we can figure it out. You talked a bit about some different survey projects and events that you've been involved in. Is there anything coming up or something that you've done recently that you were really excited to be a part of?
It's somewhat related to the 40 because I know a lot of 40 members were there, but I recently was the MC for the big event. Me and another 40 member, Alicia, were one of the 3 MCs. So that was just a really fun opportunity of like, okay, we get to be on stage. It's like small announcements, really rally up the crowd, make sure everyone's really excited for all the service that they're about to do throughout the Denton community. It's not even just UNT. And I love the big event. I've done it every single year since my freshman year. It's really just amazing to see all these people come together for like the goal of just bettering their community. Something that's coming up that I'm excited about is right now we are going through our recruitment process. Yes. So we take an application semesterly. And so right now our applications did just close, but coming up soon, we're having our individual interviews and group interviews. And that's truly one of also my favorite things about the 40 is just seeing all those leaders really let us know that I'm a leader and I have done the work for it. And this is why I want to join the 40. Yes, with applications, there are some where they don't get in, and maybe it's just not that time yet. Maybe there's still some experience that's needed, or you're something more than the 40. It's truly just what is seen through those interviews and your own experiences. So even if you don't get into the 40, you can still be a leader.
Yes.
The 40 is truly just, I would say, like a formal way of expanding your leadership.
So since they just closed, do you have an idea on next semester in the fall, whenever applications may be open?
Applications should open up around, I would say, October. We kind of, especially in the fall semester, we kind of get busy with everyone's involved. We're starting the semester off strong, the year off strong. But they will open around mid-semester. We have updates on our social media at North Texas 40 on Instagram. And we kind of make sure that students can come to events that we host. That way they can ask 40 members themselves or any of our executive members, what am I missing? Or what are you guys looking for when I apply to the 40?
That's really just nice to have in general, because I know, I mean, in general, when it comes to things like leadership roles, jobs, internships, not everyone has the opportunity to go and ask the people actually
Right.
there while they're hosting something, like, what do I need to be like you, being an NT40 member. But moving forward, what have you learned so far with your participation in being involved in different organizations and being a leader on campus?
Time management. Time management for sure. That's just me personally. I think everyone struggles with time management, especially when it's like, right, especially when you're like, okay, I want to do all these things. I want to take away the biggest parts of college and the college experience that I can, past academics. One thing I learned just from getting involved is that there is always space for me somewhere. I think when students come to campus, UNT is the third largest school. I think it's also the most dynamic. That's my favorite way to describe UNT, is that it's a dynamic and evolving campus. There's so many things that are happening where I might miss out on it, but then I can find it again or a different avenue for it. Really, I just learned that there is a space where I make it. So there have been orgs where I just visit and I'm like, maybe this is for me. And it's not. But then I find another org where, okay, this is for me. How can I insert myself in a position where I'm able to either impact others or just meet people? I don't always have to come into something and be like, okay, I need to make this better. I need to do this. You can just be there and enjoy it. I'm meeting people in this organization or in this area, and we're getting to know each other, and I have new friends now. So just I've learned that you can make space anywhere at UNT for sure.
Yes, I definitely agree. I mean, especially since you mentioned this is a very large institution, there's always things going on. So there is a place for everyone, even if it does take like a bit of rummaging through and
Yes.
finding it. So I definitely agree with that. So moving forward, how would you feel that being involved as a leader in organizations or whatnot has prepared you for life post-graduation?
Post graduation, it's not so close for me, but it's like I think about it and
It's
I'm like,
there.
whoa, like, it's almost there. But I really think my campus involvement has really strengthened my personal skills. I've always thought of myself as someone who is able to talk to people, whether how difficult it may be. You can always find a connection with someone. So I think it's really strengthened my personal skills. But one thing I definitely did struggle with before being involved and becoming a student leader is my like self-doubt or like uncertainty. It's always that first step that is so hard, or that was hard for me. I mean, actually, I'll still say it is hard. It's still something I struggle with, but it's like all the experiences I've had, those are just assurances and proof that I'm able to do it. I know it's hard, but I can still do it. And that really translates to, I guess, my applications for internships and other external opportunities. Right now, I'm knee deep in internship applications for the summer and just waiting to hear. It's a waiting game for a lot of people, and I'm definitely one of them. But building those profiles and having that campus involvement is proof like this is all the experience I've had, and making sure that it's like variable and diverse
Yes.
also shows them like, okay, they're leaders in different capacities. It's not just, okay, I did one organization, and yes, it looks good sometimes to like climb the ranks, but I was able to climb the ranks in multiple areas. So that's definitely how my campus involvement has helped me. And really post grad, what I'm looking forward to is maybe a marketing firm. I really think that a marketing firm is something like they are able to represent different areas. And again, I love how diverse marketing can be, or really just representing somebody. I know like marketing necessarily isn't public relations, but I could see myself representing a musician or, an actor or even somewhere in the entertainment field. I really find that really exciting because that is also just an ever-changing industry.
Yeah, there's so many options out there, and like with you saying like maybe a marketing firm or maybe even being open to other areas as well, maybe in entertainment. I think just really going into this with an open mind really is the biggest thing,
Mm-hmm.
especially, for me, whenever I graduated, because I graduated from UNT,
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting to go into things like UBC, like event programming, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. And applying for different jobs, going different things, I eventually found myself in this position working with online students,
Mm-hmm.
which is not something I'd worked with previously, but I was able to apply a lot of my previous experiences into this role.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think really going into any job post graduation with an open mind is a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely agree with that.
Yes, well, we'll see where it takes me. Fingers crossed.
Going into our last question, what would you recommend for students who are wanting to get more involved in campus, whether they're in person or online?
Mm-hmm. I will say if you're in person and online, one online resource you can use is OrgSync.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the easiest ways to get involved. You literally just log in with your UID and everything, and then you search up your interests. You can literally search up guitar, boom, guitar clubs right there.
Yep.
You can search up food. I'm sure we have some foodies out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And like you can search up so many various things, and it's 450 plus student organizations on campus. And so involvement, at least from finding what works for me or what I'm interested in, is easy. Just go to OrgSync. If you're here in person, definitely see what people are tabling. We have a lot of people and organizations that table for their organizations, but also every semester we host Mean Green Fling.
Yep.
And the very first week of school. So all student orgs will be out there. Definitely hit up that first Wednesday. And if you're online and let's say you're at OrgSync, you can also search up online. I will say there is a growing trend. Lots of student organizations offer online experiences as well. I know it's one of the organizations I was with, we held Zoom meetings in conjunction with our in-person meetings. So we would set up a camera and it's like you'll see the lecture hall and you'll get to hear all the, I guess, exec and officers give out their testimonies and okay, here's what's next. Okay, y'all can show up to this fundraiser and things like that. So definitely just see what is also available online. You are not just restricted to, okay, well, now I can't come in person in this. Lots of student organizations now offer Zoom options or online options as well.
Yes. Subtle plug. If you go onto the Online Student Experience website and go under our resources, there is a tab that lists all of the online student-friendly organizations. I put it together so you don't have to do it. So you could just look at the different options based on what you're interested in, whether it's academics, cultural, or special interests. There are special interests for everything.
Everyone and everything.
And one of the things I was interested to find out that so we all know Discord. We're all familiar with Discord.
Right.
And if you sign into Discord with your student email, so your UNT1, it takes you into something called the Nest or the UNT Discord Hub.
Okay.
I know not everyone knows about
Yeah.
it. So if you sign into Discord with your UNT credentials, you can see all of the different Discord channels associated through UNT that students are creating.
Wow,
They have a
okay.
Discord for
Everything. I'm sure.
There's literally, I was looking through this the other day. There's literally a group where it's just called like Brandon's group or something. I don't know who Brandon is. I don't know why he wants his own group.
Okay, Brandon.
But he has his own group. And anyone can create things through that. And it's really nice because even if whether you're in person or online, if you're wanting to get more connected with students through UNT, it's there. So definitely recommend checking that out. That is all I had. Thank you again so much for being here. For anyone who may be interested in learning more about NT40 or even, have any questions, where can they reach out to you guys?
You can definitely reach out to us on our Instagram at North Texas 40, and we'll just put out some updates on events we're having, info if applications are opening up, and also just any engagement that we have with our leaders and members.
Well, thank you again so much. I'm so glad we were able to chat about today. It's always nice being able to, chat with someone who's like a real student leader on campus, and getting ready to know about your experiences. And because I feel like with a lot of students, not just in person but online students, is they feel like they can't get involved, or they can't,
Mm-hmm.
or they feel like there's a disconnect between them and campus. But it's just a matter of, like you said, just getting out there, testing the waters, and see what's available out there.
I will hopefully see some of you online students soon. That's what it is.
Thank you guys for listening. And again, you can follow NT40 on our social media, on their social medias. You can also follow us on our social medias. You can just find us UNT Online Student Experience on everything. That's all I had, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Go
Green.